thanks again for another edition of Ideas Exchange. Sorry for the poor sound at the background as I started. Welcome again to Ideas Exchange here on TV XYZ. Tonight our focus will be on the Bank of Ghana because this conversation cannot end now. The Bank of Ghana has put out 3 responses. The first one was, let's
Welcome to the Royal Dazzle Event Center. With a lush and well-maintained lawn and garden, you are assured of the best serene and comfortable atmosphere to organize all your family and social events. Live the royal moments here with friends and family. The hosting capacity of 600 to 800 people makes Royal Dazzle the most versatile of places to host weddings, parties, funerals, conferences, concerts, and many more. Create your memories with us. Call us for inquiries on 055-814-8585 or 024-620-2144 or pass by and speak to any of our friendly staff. Locate us at Nijon, close to Zoom Lion headquarters. Royal Dazzle Event Center, creating memories. The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome to Auto Check Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to so many hour crash.
Sure. Emission, check.
Alignment, check.
Brakes, check. Visit AutoChecks at Koforidua Aquadrum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much. Auto checks. Check.
AutoChecks, your safety, our priority. AutoChecks.
Best Wine is your one-stop wholesale and retail outlet for all your original favorite brands of wine, liquor, champagne at unbeatable prices. You can get discounts of up to 15% off. We provide customized solutions for your events with our event planning and catering services. Buy your well-stocked hampers from us at great prices. Best Wine is also a major distributor of X Natural Mineral Water. Locate us at number 34 Ninote Nyanchi Street, Jowulu, or call 050-761-3900 for delivery or for more inquiries. Best Wine, caliber of wine and liquor at its best.
If you sumu I won't say any abenedie. If you sumu amamu boni. If you swa in any daso, yeni baby or money Dutch echo. If you sumu katasha any pro any dream die can adokrome. Etimraso CSM. Na mraso see die any daso papa ebebre emabru eni nchirima. Enyoko kromotin kwa ye hia wa hoden. Etibeboa niemfa aban papa meche NDC odi abamu papa ebebre ganafo. Kwajo card GGC meche good governance card. Na emfa NDC aban ensamra bi. Majimi dio osokwajo die. From being to be the NDC shall be.
Do you know that the first 6 years of your child has so much to do with how their next 80 years will turn out? Do you also know that for a child to develop independently, we have to ensure they are physically, socially, emotionally, spiritually, and cognitively developed? If I may, how is the relationship between you and your ward? Join me this and every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and let's talk education to ensure a better future for our children. I am Daitesa Ampofu, popularly known as Madam Time Bomb. I'm going to be your virtual teacher on TV XYZ. Let's talk education, building the future through education.
If I cry, no menyesika, edia ye me fui.
Ehinfa pa na menya bosia, edia tre me dwuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre, me ye bosia ato taxi fofo.
Suhum Rural Bank. Suhum Rural Bank.
Yema mwakwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ye wonhye ya hodo bi te se dwadifo abosia, ekokro bosia, susu account. And it does our savings account. Me bada chain savings account. And then the keka ho. Suhum Rural Bank was 03422918696. Now also what to me aka say.
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Welcome to AutoCheck Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to so many hours.
Sure.
Emission, check.
Alignment, check.
Brakes, check. Visit AutoChecks at Koforodia Aquadum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much. AutoChecks. Check.
AutoChecks. Your safety, our priority.
Check, AutoChecks.
Ghana Cocoa Board, are your domestic debts a program?
We are one man short. Should we invite him? Yeah.
Cocoa Board. Time.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah. Now Cocoa Board what can be no. What said natural X water. Yeah, what did you yeah? And come and bring your Cocoa Board abono. What do
still got it. Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome to AutoCheck Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to so many hours.
Sure.
Emission, check.
Alignment, check.
Brakes, check.
Visit AutoChecks at Koforodia Aquadum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much. Auto checks. Check.
AutoChecks. Your safety, our priority.
Auto checks.
We are one-man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah.
Always drink fresh, natural, X, mineral, water.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I did hear myself. Yeah. So, hello. I dey come. Hello. Kofi, they hear me? Kofi, they hear me? They hear me? They hear me for there? They hear me? Isn't they hear me? Yeah, hello. Hello.
I don't hear from this.
Sabo Figo.
Yeah.
So we. Okay. Time okay.
Do 5 minutes for
you. We'll do 5 minutes for the Zoom, so make no call. thanks again for joining us. This is Ideas Exchange. We went for a brief break because there was a little technical challenge, and I'm happy to say my guest has joined me. He's Bernard Mona. He's the convener for Arise Ghana. He's a chief, he's a farmer, he's a leading member of the People's National Congress. And of course, Bernard Mona is well respected for his patriotism. He has demonstrated this consistently. Tonight, we are talking about the Bank of Ghana because this conversation cannot stop. For 3 consecutive times, the bank has made an attempt to respond to concerns by Ghanaians about the mess it has caused, because I've listened to a number of financial analysts who all agree that what the Bank of Ghana has done is unacceptable. The first instance, the Bank of Ghana attempted to equalize by making reference to central banks in other countries. The second attempt was to explain. The third one, they are suggesting that, look, the 60 billion loss won't affect their operations. After all, it's gone. They can recapitalize and so on. I won't say much because today, the minority was at the police headquarters. I'm talking about the Greater Accra Regional Police Command. They are finalized, and the police have agreed that the march will come on the 5th of September. That is next month. They are demonstrating. The march will start from the forecourt of Parliament House, and they are going to picket at the Bank of Ghana. They want the governor of the Bank of Ghana to go and his 2 deputies. Now, I will shortly play the comment they made at the Police Regional Command. But before that, let me welcome Bernard. Bernard, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I don't you feel tired sometimes? Because I saw you somewhere. I heard you on, I think, Accra FM, and I'm told you went to play basketball, and you are here with me.
Well, my father once said that the only time you can rest is when you are in the grave. Then you can have a final rest. But as long as you continue to have breath, you cannot rest. And of course, after everything, I need to also still do a little bit exercises to keep my body together and the joints working.
Is it an exercise you do often, or you are preparing for September 5th?
I do it all the time. Those who know me know that, as they will say, I'm a training bay. All the time I have to get myself busy. And so even if you watch, when I go to the farm, I don't act as a farm owner or a part owner. I act as a worker on the farm. And we walk, we work, we pound fufu, we do everything. Those who don't know that I'm a part owner of the farm will come and see me working as equal as any other person on the farm. I just want to keep myself busy. And there are many things, particularly when you think about a disjointed world in which we find ourselves. More importantly, that we have had leaders in this country, but never in the history of this nation have we come across such a disastrous leadership as we are witnessing under President Akufo-Addo. Everything is helter-skelter. Everything is basa, nyama. I mean, there is no head. You know amoeba. When the scientists tell you it's an amoeba, look, we are having a governance of no shape. Nothing works. And when you want to advise them about what will work, they rather see you as an enemy. But we cannot be enemies of our own nation because we have put in so much in the hope that this nation will be better. But when in the end we will go and elect such a leader, I don't think that God himself is being kind to the people of Ghana by the leadership that Akufo-Addo is putting across. Everything is a mess. And we will not see the mess until when Akufo-Addo and the MPP leaves government. Then the full bouquet of disaster that they have caused this nation, which in my opinion will run for the next 50 years, because the mess is just monumental. And so, how can you get tired when there is much work to do? You need to actually enlighten a number of people. There are people, when you finish talking, then they say, oh, we didn't know that, we didn't know this. So we were foolish by following what our leaders were telling us. And I think that Ken Ofori-Atta, Addison, and for that matter, the data bankers have taken us for far too long on the ride. And the people of Ghana are simply either timid or we are too tolerant of nonsense. Otherwise, these things will not happen.
Now, I remember, and of course, I promised that I was going to play back the comment by the leadership on the minority side.
Sure.
when they met the police. But let's drag this conversation a bit more before I play back those tapes. I remember that in 2021-22, the now ranking member on the Finance Committee of Parliament appeared to be on a certain tangent, trying to expose what he saw as rot at the Bank of Ghana. Now, there were several responses, and in most cases, the bank appeared to be explaining and justifying what they were doing. Today, many say he is vindicated. I pulled one of the responses by the Bank of Ghana to one of the claims by Isaac Adongo, and if my colleagues will help me, together I'll just run through some of those responses. Now, this response was to Adongo about what he was claiming to be false data, and then that information also added what he raised concerns at that time, that they were illegally printing money to support government operations. Now, if this page will roll, you would notice that at the tail end, they were trying to claim that even some of the monies that Adongo made reference to, they were referring to legacy debts that they were managing at the time. Was it that the bank was blatantly lying, or as they put it, they have prudently managed Bank of Ghana, and what happened is merely a result of DDEP?
Well, you know, just as we know of President Akufo-Addo and every apparatchik of his government, they have relied on the effects of COVID-19, Russia, Ukraine, the earthquake that have rocked Syria and then Turkey, and recently, if you want, you can say that the happenings in Niger, because now that Niger has closed its borders and Ghana is no more getting its onions, then it becomes one of the external factors that has shocked the economy of Ghana. So they go out scouting for what external factors we can use to justify our domestic inefficiencies. And this is one of the instances. Because from day one, you see, and this is what I say, that the people of Ghana probably, after we had the crisis with electricity, 2014, 2015, ended in 2016. By the time our energy crisis was fixed, we were told by every projection, by every institution, that 2017, Ghana was going to boom because industries were now going to start to produce at optimum capacity. It didn't need anybody to tell you that the absence of electricity impacted negatively on productivity. And now that we had excess electricity, productivity was going to rise. And therefore, the economy was going to see positive outlook. That was basic sense. And so, somehow in 2017, Akufo-Addo inherited an economy that was destined to boom. So it started to boom. They did not bring out any policy prescription to warrant the economic boom. It was foreseen that it was going to happen. And so 2017, it took a long period for Akufo-Addo to finish constituting his government. By the time he finished his government, the economy was booming. Businesses were flourishing. Electricity was in full supply. Water was in full supply. Every other ingredient that is needed to project your economy was at full work. 2018 was the continuation of the cycle. But don't forget that soon as they came, their solution to the economic crisis was to go and borrow. A situation that they described was not tenable. So they started with what they described as Eurobond. They never said that they were going to borrow. So when they say Eurobond, many people did not understand that it was going to go and borrow, beg and borrow. So they ran some, they call it road shows. They borrowed money and kept on borrowing money and celebrating their achievements in borrowing. The crisis that we have today is that we have overborrowed. And before COVID-19 could come up, Ghana had overborrowed.
But they have been consistent by saying 2017, 2018, 2019, the economy was doing well.
Only
it is a reflection of their achievements.
Minds. It's only feeble minds that will buy into such illogic. Because what did you actually do? What policies did you put in place to achieve the kind of economic gain that we got in 2017?
They make mention of 1D, 1F.
Give me one example. I come from the Upper West region. And I actually returned last Thursday. And in the Upper West region, there is no 1D, 1F.
Now, the minority has gotten the clearance.
Or in your region, there is 1D, 1F.
In my hometown or my district, there is none.
So, where is the 1D, 1F?
But obviously, we have seen a couple of that government has commissioned.
Where?
A Kumfi juice factory.
Oh, a Kumfi was already in operation. It is somebody's private business.
What about the Kasapreko supported project?
So that is also, was Kasapreko not already operating? When Kwame Nkrumah talked about factories, we had the jute factory, we had the shoe factory, we had the Commander sugar factory, we have the Asochwari, you understand?
Sugar factory.
These were state-owned. That when we invested money, we could say that this is for the government and the people of Ghana. Tell me which of the factories they claim they have created.
We will go into those ones. But now let's come back to this reason why you are in the studio. The minority wants to embark on a demonstration. Bank of Ghana has incurred heavy losses. Bank of Ghana is on record to have printed money to support government. Inflation has shot up. Bank of Ghana is building a house for itself, i.e. head office, and the minority says they want the governor out. They are embarking on a demonstration. What is your interest and why is your group, Arise Ghana, fully participating in this demonstration?
First and foremost, I'm a Ghanaian, and I'm sure that you are a Ghanaian. And if you are a Ghanaian who is affected by the happenings of the Akufo-Addo-led administration, and in particular the happenings at the Bank of Ghana, then obviously 5th of September's demonstration and occupation of the Bank of Ghana should be a full occupation for every Ghanaian. Let me put it in simplistic terms. The Bank of Ghana printed in excess of 77 billion to support the useless expenditures of President Akufo-Addo and Ken Ofori-Atta. After they printed so much money, they did not go to Parliament, because anytime you have to print money, we must know the quantity of money that is being printed so that we know the total amount of money in circulation in an economy at any given time. But once they never told Parliament, it means that they printed money and just gave out. And when they were exposed by Adongo, as you rightly pointed, they came denying that it is not true. Today, they themselves admit that they printed in excess of 77.
Because if you can pull that statement, sorry to do this, but it will inform the conversation. In response to the issue about printing of money, at the time they were making reference to 21 billion cedis. But today we know at that time it was far more than that, almost double.
So as we speak today, we are talking in excess of 77 billion. That was printed and given out. Now, when you print money, and it is not accompanied by productivity, what it means is that there will be so much money chasing virtually no goods. So what will happen? Inflation. Do you now understand why inflation jumped from the 15% or less that John Mahama left to in excess of 54% and now back to 43%? Because we overput money into the system, and that money was not accompanied by productivity. So much money chasing few goods. That's the simplistic definition of inflation. So that is why we are in this crisis. But even as I want to continue further, you recall the reasons for which Dr. Wampa was compelled to resign?
I do.
Dr. Wampa had taken inflation to about 14.7%. And we cried and said that no, that is not how inflation is supposed to have been. Then again, Dr. Wampa suffered a situation where our currency was exchanged at 4.2 Ghana cedis to $1. The entire minority then in Parliament went at President John Mahama and told him in Parliament that he should sack the governor of the Bank of Ghana. In response, he reminded them that Parliament passed an act that prevents him as president from acting in the manner they wanted. If they wanted him to sack the governor, they should change the laws. That's what President Mahama said. Given that Wampa was a man of substance, a man of respect and honor, he got the message that his appointor was actually disturbed by the happenings at the time. And if he had the power, he will cause him to be dismissed. He resigned. He resigned in April, when in actual fact he was supposed to go on retirement in August. That is what we call honor.
And how different is it from
today? Today, our inflation is not 4.2%. Our depreciation of our cedi is not 4.2 to the dollar. It's not 7. It's not 8. It's not 9. It's not 10. It's not 11. It's in excess of 12 cedis. If Addison had honor, he would have said that my predecessor was compelled to step out of office because our currency had depreciated 4.2 to the dollar. Today, you are hovering in excess of 12%.
But the circumstances may be different.
There cannot be difference in circumstances
because
when,
the Bank of Ghana says
people's purchasing power has been declining, and declining so badly. The second one has to do with inflation. If inflation of 14.7% could cause a governor to resign, what will inflation of 43.1% do to a governor? Under normal circumstances, he should have gone down the grave.
So that is one or two strong points you have raised. Now, the Bank of Ghana says the loss is a result of DDEP. The building we are putting up is because the Meteorological Services Department said that's an earthquake zone. They are saying that even the loss will not affect the operations because they have been managing prudently. And again, they are also talking about the fact that many of the reasons assigned are frivolous. Basically, that's what they are saying.
It is only myopic thinkers that will think that way. You have run your books to a loss, and you tell me that you are still solvent. And when we talk, you come and respond and say that it is not you, the Bank of Ghana, that is even saying that you are solvent. That the IMF and the World Bank say that you are policy solvent. Do you know what that means? Policy solvency is different from liquidity solvency. Because policy solvency, look, the Bank of Ghana acts as a lender of last resort. And I'm sure that this is elementary economics.
Right.
To act as a lender of last resort means that when every other bank or any other bank is in distress and is not able to meet its obligation to its customers, they run to the central bank for the central bank to redeem them. Right? In this instance, the central bank is already in debt by itself. So when you are running to somebody who is already owing, how will that person be able to support you? But because they don't have the money as well. Now, when you come to policy solvency, what it means is that, well, as a central bank, we can print more money. And so by that, the policy decision is that we can print more money. So we will print more money. So when you print more money, and it's not accompanied by increase in productivity, you are going to shoot inflation up. Cost of living is going to be worse.
Which will worsen the plight of the poor. So are you concluding that the stay in office by Addison and his deputies are rather threats to the economy than solving the problem?
That is why I find that, look, we have to begin to take professorialship from people who are professors. Because when Stephen Ade, and I refuse to call him professor at this time, when Stephen Ade decided to come and launch an attack on persons who are saying that the governor should resign, that we who are saying that the governor, the deputies and the board should resign are impacting negatively because we are introducing what we call skepticism in the economy. Isn't it better to be a skeptic than to be in place when things are good? Look, they run down the economy and they don't even know that their actions run down the economy. And there is a saying that if you have committed something and you don't know, you can be pardoned. But when you have committed a wrong and you don't know that you have committed a wrong, you are a fool.
But it sounds funny.
So in this instance, Addison, the governor, doesn't know that he exceeded his limits. In this instance, Addison is claiming that why domestic debt exchange is the reason why we are in this mess. Really. And we are going to do a further debt exchange. So it means that the debt and the mess is even going to be much deeper. I always liken it to a situation where you have a tuber of yam, right? And then it starts to decay. If you are a wise man, you cut off the decaying part.
Which is what must happen to Addison.
Which must happen. But now, when you come and tell me that the Bank of Ghana is situated as earthquake-prone area,
zone.
Here, it's not functioning well.
What is here?
Your head. The brains are not functioning well. That place is where we have the Chief Justice. In Bagbin's nomenclature.
And while you are saying this, I deliberately asked one of our video editors to drive along that stretch. Yeah. So you speak to the issue so that we can watch the structures along those areas you are talking about.
So whilst you are talking about this, Bagbin says that he has a number, either number 2 or number 3 in Ghana's ranking. The Chief Justice is number 2 or number 3 or number 4, not so. And you want to say that the Chief Justice, where the Chief Justice operates from her offices is not earthquake prone. So when you are going to the Bank of Ghana, immediately you the traffic.
For the purpose of your conversation and specific to this issue, what you are seeing on the screen is the stretch from the Independence Square
beautiful to
the Bank of Ghana. So you see the High Court complex there.
That's
you
right.
see National Lotteries. You see the
Commission on Human Rights,
all
and Administrative Justice, and then the Organized Economic Crime Office.
Why is it that you doubt the explanation of the Bank of Ghana as far as the earthquake?
All these institutions are within the same vicinity.
And this is the newly refurbished Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum.
All these are within the Bank of Ghana vicinity. So it couldn't have been a case that it is Bank of Ghana that is only subjected to the earthquake difficulties. In any case, is it today that we have been warned that Accra is the epicenter of any earth tremor or earthquake? Everyone knows. So if earthquakes could be the reason for which we have to relocate our Bank of Ghana from where it is, then it should not have been done in Accra any longer. In fact, we should have been going to Kintampo, or we could go to Sankana.
And that's the Bank of Ghana building.
That is, and just opposite this Bank of Ghana building, before this Bank of Ghana, is the Ghana Commercial Bank. After the Ghana Commercial Bank is the former AMA offices.
Now, are you suggesting that the Bank of Ghana governors are lying, or they are taking us for granted, or Ghanaians are not angry enough?
No, first, Ghanaians are not angry enough. Second, because we are not angry enough, they can offer any useless explanation as a justification for the vulgarity that we are witnessing in the economy. You have chopped people's money just anyhow you want. Now, as if that is not enough, you know, within that area, apart from the Ghana Commercial Bank, apart from the superior courts, do you know that that is where the law school is?
Yes.
Do you know that that is where the biggest market ever is? Makola is. Do you know that from that place, if you turn around, do you know that that is where Manche Agbona is? So, what are they talking about? That every other place, okay, that place is earthquake prone. So it's only going to, if there is going to be earthquake, it will affect only Bank of Ghana.
Now, my guest in the studio is Bernard Mona. Is the convener for Arise Ghana. They are joining the demonstration by the minority on September 5th. Today, the minority met the Greater Accra Regional Police Command. Let's listen briefly to them. In fact, I saw Bernard Mona among those who were there. He will tell me what happened after I've heard, or you have heard, the minority leadership led by, I think, Mahama Yaraga spoke, Amabua spoke, James Agaga spoke. Let's hear them briefly.
We want the governor to be the one to receive our petition, and that is why we must march to the central bank building itself, so that he can come down and then receive the petition himself. And we insisted on that position. So I believe that the police will convey our demands to him, and I believe believe that he would make himself available to receive our petition.
The Bank of Ghana has elected to spend a whopping amount of 250 million Ghana cedis to put up a grandiose project that they call the new office building, and that, you know, when it is completed, it will become the largest office space in Africa and so on. Do we need that at this point in time, when people cannot even afford to buy food to eat because food inflation is over 300%? Those are the figures. So we're saying that, look, the governor of the Bank of Ghana is unfit to continue to occupy that position. We gave government an ultimatum. Government hasn't responded favorably, and so we have decided that our demonstration, the Occupy Bank of Ghana strategy would now be invoked.
Assuming today there is a mad rush at any of our commercial banks, and that means that they will not be able to meet their liquidity obligations. Their last option will be to go to the central bank for redemption. Here we have a Bank of Ghana that is already running at a loss and is in debt. That insolvency state put all of us and our resources at risk. His deputies and the board that are responsible for the calamitous state of our Bank of Ghana, it's important that we get them out so that new flesh of ideas will come and liberate our society.
On the illegal printing of money at the Bank of Ghana and the malfeasance that has been reported in the 2021 and 2022 financial report of Bank of Ghana, acts that has resulted in impoverishing close to 1 million Ghanaians. As law-abiding citizens, we wrote to the police service to inform them about our intention to protest on the 5th of September. We provided them a detailed route of the path that we will go through during that protest.
So the summary of it is that the police has given you clearance, but we have seen demonstrations severally, and somebody would ask, has it yielded the expected impact? Maybe this government has tough skin, or maybe the level of impunity has gone up and therefore they don't care. What makes you think that Ghanaians should sustain this to be able to get what they want? Otherwise, the country will crash on their heads.
Well, I think that we have many examples to showcase that it takes a determination of a people, because we, in our circumstance, don't want a coup d'etat. And therefore, the only option available to us is that those of us who are unhappy with the state of affairs must show this by walking the streets and protesting to the authorities that be. As you are aware, when things were not working well in Senegal, it took Ousmane Sonko and many others to demonstrate, so much so that the government of Macky Sall had no option than to compel the judiciary to come in. And even as the judiciary started using its heavy-handedness on opposition elements and imprisoning them, it did not stop the people until they were able to stop Macky Sall and his madness of wanting to go for a third term. In Ghana, President Akufo-Addo and the manner in which he has run this economy, it's evident that anywhere you would think that President Akufo-Addo knows that he has failed, and not just failed, he has failed hugely, that he will go down as the worst ever that happened to Ghana. My personal view is that everything Akufo-Addo is doing is to cause more anger so that there can be an overthrow of his regime. Said that he can use that as a pretext to say that if I was allowed to serve my full term, something will happen. So it is for us to stand up and demand that at least if you cannot give us daily bread, don't deny us tomorrow's bread. And so what is happening today is that I have witnessed, and I think that this is going to be mammoth, that aside the initial call by the minority, aside Justice for Ghana joining, aside Arise Ghana joining, many other civil society organizations, and as of this evening, I counted about 24,
I'll come back to you, but we are going to be brief on this. Solomon Wise is one of the spokespersons for Fix the Country Ghana movement. I'll be very brief with you because we had a little technical challenge at the beginning of the show, so much of the time was lost. Solo, if you can hear me via Zoom, I want to say good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening. I hope you can hear me very well.
Yes, you are loud and clear. Solo, how have you mobilized and what assurances can you give Ghanaians who are equally angry like you that this demonstration would make the needed impact and get Dr. Addison and his deputies out?
If I may ask you to repeat your question because I didn't really hear you clearly.
Ped, are you and your followers for the September 5th demonstration?
Very well. I would want to use this opportunity to say good evening to viewers. I'll say yes, we are ready and on course for the demonstration. It is very clear, as you can see in the country, that our nation is not on a ground footing. And very much so, things are not really going on well. And as young people or as young persons, we want to stand up for our country. So the intended demonstration has to do with the fact that we want to save our nation from the corrupt regime of the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led NPP government. First of all, let me be brief on the topic of discussion for the night, which has to do with the fact that the directors at the Bank of Ghana must proceed on leave, whether it's justified or it's just a populist view. I want to put it on record that why we are here today as a nation, the turmoil in which we find ourselves, is because, one, of the recklessness of the President Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led government. First of all, the Bank of Ghana is our property. So if the Bank of Ghana is not doing well, it is our collective responsibilities to stand up and fix it. Now, Bank of Ghana, in their recent reports, registered losses to a tune of 80.1 billion Ghana cedis. That is something equivalent to 6.
Your line is dropping. Let's see if you are still on the line. But I'm sure when he gets back, I'll be prompted. But you were speaking to a very sensitive. Okay, I'm told he's back on the line. You can go ahead with your submission, sir. Yes, Solo, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So the Bank of Ghana has registered a loss to a tune of 80.1 billion Ghana cedis. And not only that, the Bank of Ghana has also registered, a negative equity in a tune of $55.1 billion. Do you know what that means to our in this country, hearing me or viewing me from everywhere you are? A negative equity of $55.1 billion simply means that our bank, that is our Central Bank of Ghana, is bankrupt. And what has that got to do with us as young people who are yet to get meaningful job to do, who are yet to go to school and pay your fees? What does that mean to you? It means simply that, one, in 2021, the Bank of Ghana actually printed an amount. 2021 to 2022, the Bank of Ghana printed an amount of
Solomon, briefly. Solomon, briefly, most of the issues you are referring to, I'm sure the public is well aware. Now, if you can do this in 30 seconds, because Bernard would have to wrap up. Our show ends at 9 o'clock. You've told us about your readiness. There's this indication that Ghanaians are not angry enough. What should make them believe that what you are saying is in their interest and there's the need for them to join this cause?
Thank you very much. I want to tell my young people that first of all, the demonstration is on and is going to happen live and in color. So, Fix the Country Ghana movement would come out in its full complement with all young people across Ghana to this demonstration, because one, we want to save the soul of our country. The country is headed into destruction, and if we do not rise to actually save this country from where we are currently, I do not think that it will be well with us.
Okay, Solo, sorry to cut you short. Unfortunately, I explained to you we missed some time because of a technical challenge. So we'll do this again. I believe that before September 5th, this subject will be part of our conversation, and we'll come back to all the actors involved in the demonstration. Now, Bernard, as we begin to wrap up, what are your expectations? There are times when the police will be nice to you, will give you all the support, but the demonstration will turn violent. There are times when they will give you this assurance, then they will go to court and try to place an injunction. When you were at the meeting today, or if you were not inside the room, are you anticipating that there could be surprises at the last minute?
Well, I did not that there will be any surprises. In fact, I could see that after I spoke there, because I thought that we were wasting time. The police simply had gone to draft what they think that should be their route for us. And so when I got my turn to speak, after the leader, the deputy minority leader, Kofi Boa, and I told the police that, well, except they want to say that they are professionally incompetent and lacks efficiency. Otherwise, the police service that we know, they do even better things. If you want to tell us that demonstrations will lead to the curtailment of businesses, even funerals in Ghana, we block roads. And they cause disharmony for other road users. Not so. Weddings and parties. So what is this that the police want to say will be the basis upon which citizens will not be allowed to go and protest? The whimsicalness of their action. Number two, if the police say that they have done their own recce of the environment, are the police supposed to choose a route for us, or we choose a route for the police to now go and guide us? If the Ghana Police Service under Dampare and under the regional command of Garba want to tell us that they do not have what it takes to do policing in this country, then I think that, look, we are better off without the police. There are instances the Ghana Police Service, you know that, have refused to participate in our demonstrations. And we have done, we've done those demonstrations without any let or any difficulty. In Ashanti region, they came to stop us at the last minute, and I said, we will not stop. They walked away from us. We went round the town and came back and addressed the people.
How determined are you and your teams to support them?
This evening, whilst I was coming here, I got a call from one of your sister stations, Metro TV, that the police has issued a very useless statement, saying that they advise that we should. Who says that advice is compulsory or is a force? You told us, and we concluded with you, that our route was unchangeable. And you could hear that in what Mahama Yerga said.
And what the deputy minority leader said.
So why, after we have concluded on that note, you are still coming to tell the public that you advise? Not your advice, keep it in your pocket, because we are not working with your advice. And we also told them that we are aware of their tactics of wanting to go to court at last minute. If you want to go to court, go now. so that we can challenge the processes. But if you go last minute, we will also pretend that we have not heard about the court and we'll do what we have to do. And so we want to assure them that as law-abiding citizens, but it's not also true that citizens have always exceeded our remit. Somehow, I think that Ghanaians are too conforming. It is any time you see that demonstrations in this country go bad, the police have decided to use their own to disrupt the peaceful protest. And you saw that on the 28th of June last year.
I know.
You saw what they did. And so we can assure you, who doesn't know that I'm a peace-loving person? Who doesn't know that Mahama Ayarga is a peace-loving person? Who doesn't know that Kofi Bua is a peace-loving person and Agalga? And so why would we want to disrupt anything that we intend to want to come and make it better tomorrow?
Unfortunately, I'm sure many of you would have wished that I continued this with Bernard Mona, but I believe that subsequently my colleagues on Power FM, I'm sure on other programs, will be speaking to him on the way forward, because this is, some told me, a national exercise that must be embarked on. But what he said that is a strong point that many people would have to look at is what he sees as a deliberate provocation of the system, perhaps for somebody to overthrow the government, for the president to use that as a reason to save his face after the shameful governance that we have witnessed. But they say no, but Ghanaians should come out and demonstrate that they are angry to force government to succumb to pressure to do the right things. Bernard Mona is a convener for Arise Ghana. I would say he's almost the founder. And then he's also a chief, a farmer, a leading member of the People's National Convention. Next time, I'm sure we'll talk about the Electoral Commission and the belligerence over limited registration exercise. My name is Ahianyo, but this is what I know the route will be. They are meeting at the frontage of Parliament House. They will march through the Osu Cemetery, traffic light of the Finance Ministry, through the main access along the High Court Complex, Kimbu, Makola, Rollins Park, Opera Square, and the Bank of Ghana. Bernard, I'm so grateful for your time. I believe that a lot of people will be monitoring the momentum as it builds up. Thanks again.
We are peace-loving, and I know that we are very responsible in our conduct. We will do, but we will never succumb to any intimidation whatsoever from any quarters.
Thank you, and I'm grateful to my producers for the time.